Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this virtual edition of Midnight on Front Street. As we begin this celebration of a new year, we want to thank the many city employees who made this broadcast possible. To our traffic crews, to our electrician Skip Matthew and construction crews, to our fire department, from Chief Stewart to Assistant Chief Wade, to our battalion chiefs and our crews out here with us tonight, especially BC Robert Stevens and Don Massengale, who built the hoist that will lower the hub sign, and to our mayoral staff, Betsy, Samantha, and Ann, we say thank you. As COVID numbers began to escalate in early December, and it was apparent that a public event might not be possible for New Year's Eve, we began talking about what a virtual event might look like. The one thing that we knew we wanted when we remembered 2020 was to recall the good that happened. It was a message that we often spoke of during tough times of this year. Despite the daily reports of bad news, of infections and hospitalizations and deaths, our community was still out there, looking out for each other and working to accomplish many things. And in so many cases, the best of our people, of you, showed up. So tonight, before we celebrate the fact that 2020 is indeed coming to a close, we want to look back at the past year, the entire year, including the moments COVID became a reality for our community, but also the many good things that also happened. And it all began right here at Midnight on Front Street. Last year, about 8,000 of our closest friends gathered in downtown to witness the second ever Midnight on Front Street. Hattiesburgers from near and far, as well as a lot of out-of-town guests, celebrated, danced to music from DJ Cujo, took photos, and just enjoyed being in each other's presence. When the clock struck midnight, the iconic hub sign dropped from high above downtown and fireworks went off, ushering in a new decade and reminding us that all things are possible in a new year. Our selection of the hub sign in 2018 was intentional. The symbol debuted in 1912 to signify our city's growing transportation, educational, and commercial importance to the Gulf South region. Collectively, the hub sign served as a hearty reminder that the Hattiesburg spirit that Reverend E.D. Solomon spoke about on that night in 1912, about our city's tendency to go after big things and get them, was alive and well. Throughout this year, however, the sign has served as more than a reminder to our community's rightful place as a premier city in the Gulf South. This year, it has served as a beacon of hope that regardless of the devastation that even a pandemic can bring, Hattiesburg's bold vision to go after and achieve big things remains. I remember that night a year ago vividly. Then I spoke about how the 1920s were such an important time in our nation's history, one of economic and cultural transformation. I believed then, and I still believe now, that the 2020s can be just as pivotal and transformational for Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and that we can and will be in the habit of going after big things and getting them. 2020 itself may have had different plans than all of us imagined, and I know that much of what we will remember for this year will be the many challenges, disruptions, disappointments, and heartaches. But there's a poem that I've always loved. It's called A Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And one of the stanzas that came to mind as I was preparing for tonight was this one. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. 2020 will indeed soon be over, and we will be granted an opportunity to start anew. Now, I don't expect things to magically change at midnight tonight. COVID-19 will not suddenly go away. Political differences will not magically disappear. However, it is a chance for us to make a clean break with last year and approach 2021 with fresh perspective. We, collectively and individually, can decide to do that. Every day can push us down the road a little further. Every day gives us opportunity to grow, to encourage, and to show kindness. And we'll need the best of us to show up. We'll need every bit of our resolve, endurance, and perseverance to get through what we hope are the final chapters of COVID-19 over the next few months. Take heart that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but embrace the courage and discipline it will take to get there. 158. That's the number of people in the Hattiesburg metro area that we lost in 2020 to COVID-19. Let's not lose any more. Let's resolve to get to the end of this pandemic, and let's do all we can to get there together. Alfred Lord Tennyson wrote in an 1892 play, "Hope smiles from the threshold of the year to come, whispering, it will be happier." My fellow citizens, it will be happier in 2021. And the promise that Hattiesburg holds will become all the more evident as this next year goes on. Tonight, as we've done each New Year's Eve that we have gathered, we raise a glass to 2020, all that it brought, the good and the bad, and remember those we lost, and look forward to the possibilities of the next year. And now, with only a few moments left to go, we will turn our eyes to the iconic hub sign, which was created by John Aust in 2018 for this event, with lights added from our own Skip Matthew. It will be lowered from the Hattiesburg Fire Department's Ladder 1. We will also have 2021 lights at Town Square Park and at the courtyard of the district at Midtown for photos over the next couple of nights. And so now, we'll start the countdown at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Please be safe in the days and weeks ahead. We look forward to seeing you here next year in person to celebrate the great things that will have happened in 2021. Good night.